Good morning, everyone. We hope you're enjoying your brunch. We're about 15 minutes before we start the 2023 State of the City. We wanted to open the meeting and ask if there's anybody here to provide public comment. Okay, seeing none, we will close the public comment portion of this meeting and enjoy your brunch, and we'll see you at 10.
Kelly wants a sweet mountain. Thank you.
I don't need, I don't need to like crunch too though.
No, no, I wouldn't worry about it either. Probably rolling.
Yeah. I don't know how well it will because
Huh? I'll check. I think that's me. No, no. Oh, yeah, yeah. Is this, is our, running it, so using our name for the broadcast? Like they said, the only thing that's connected to us is the city's in, and then that just goes out there. Oh, okay. So we're super cool.
Super cool. Is she in there?
Yeah, she's on. Okay, now I feel good. I'm like, I don't need that.
Good. I would like to go over there. I think she. I think she's from the corner, and I think it's
Like they said, the only thing that's gonna. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you please find your seats. We're about to start our program once again. If you can please find your seats. For settling down, we will start the program.
Wow, it works. Yay. Good morning and welcome. How is everybody doing today? Well, thank you for the claps, but I was gonna say, yes, we're good. You should say, yes, we're good, right? Okay, so it's dark. I can't see everybody all the way there, but can everybody see me and hear me loud and clear all the way to the back? I just need a yes or a shout out, raise your hand, whichever way. Okay, good. I'm glad. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick high overview of Alameda Chamber and Alameda Chamber Foundation. And then after that, I'm going to introduce our Assembly Member Mia Banta because she's going to share a nice message with you. After that, we're going to have everything that you're looking for. The hourly, our Honorable Mayor Ezzy Ashcraft, she'll give her State of the City address. Followed with that is our coming home, Jennifer Ott, our city manager. She'll share her goals, views, and what she's envisioning Alameda to be like, okay? So that's the drill of today. Does that work for everybody? You're supposed to say yes. Yes, okay. All right, Madam Chair, hit it off.
Sounds good. How was your breakfast? Let's thank our caterer, Cafe Jolie and Donut Petites for the mouth-watering buffet, the donut wall, and the mimosa wall. I know you've never seen that before. And a special thanks to Firebrand for the delicious pastries. Thank you to Nothing But Cakes for the sweet buntinis. And how can we have breakfast without coffee and tea from our very own Pete's Coffee Roaster? And we want to give a special thank you to the USS Hornet for being our venue sponsor. Let's welcome Laura Fides, COO of the Hornet, to say a few words. Come on up, Laura.
All right, welcome aboard the USS Hornet Sea, Air, and Space Museum. I know you've been able to host Alameda Chamber events a few times now. Is there anyone for whom this is their first time on the ship? More than I would have expected. Well, welcome aboard. Our ship, I think, our museum is probably the largest event venue here in the city of Alameda. I think we've tapped out once at 5,000 people, but traditionally we hold 3,500. We are a museum, so we are a history and STEM museum. We have about 50,000 visitors annually. Additionally, we have somewhere between 10,000 and 14,000 school kids come aboard. Our exact niche is usually the kind of the 4th grade, and we are able to teach STEM through using Hornet here as a living workshop of STEM technologies. So it's always really excited to see all of the various community partners we have here and who have worked with us before on different projects. An exciting thing for Hornet down the line, since I have you all here, is Hornet is actually celebrating our 80th year. We were constructed in 1943 for World War II, fought 59 battles in the Pacific Theater. So we are celebrating our 80th anniversary and coincidentally our 25th anniversary as a museum right here in Alameda on Pier 3. That is going to be held on Veterans Day in November, and we're looking forward to reaching out to all of our Alameda community partners and how we can celebrate the day together, because Hornet's legacy is Alameda's legacy as kind of a gateway to the Pacific and a center of innovation and technology from World War II on forward. So with that said, I'll pass it on back. And again, thank you very much for coming here today.
Thank you, Laura. Fourth graders are the only ones that can fit in those cots. That's why fourth grade is the. We wanted to give a big thank you to our event sponsors and their support. Without your partnership, this event wouldn't be possible today. Thank you to the City of Alameda, Exelexis, Penumbra, the Port of Oakland and Oakland Airport, Ernst Development Partners, McGuire and Hester, Power Engineering, Merlone Guire Partners, State Farm, Team Kelly Lux, Catellis, Brookfield Properties, Alameda Point Partners, College of Alameda, City of Alameda Health District, Alameda Hospital, our newest innovative housing, Alta Star Harbor, Bay East Association of Realtors, Alameda Family Services, Radium, Kaiser, Alameda County Industries, the Research Park Marina Village, Blue Rise Ventures, and Kairos Power.
Great, thank you. So, as you know, this month is Women's History Month. And I would like to acknowledge and celebrate all the Alameda women leaders, because Alameda is full of them here. So thank you, ladies, for doing what you're doing for our community here. Our East Bay Economic Development Alliance Executive Director, Stephen May. So as the CEO and the chair and the president of Alameda Chamber, my focus is growth. So growing programs and resources for the Alameda businesses. And I have to say, I am very fortunate because I have a dynamic board, a board that shares the same vision I have, which is growth. And without them, I cannot do it. So with their support and blessing of my board, we get things done here. So Madam Chair, please kick off and share your board members.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank the Chamber Board officers and directors, Vice Chair Becca Parada, Chair-elect 2024, Joanne Guttarde, Treasurer Jennifer Chenchuli, Secretary Bill Withrow, and our directors, Dr. Cindy Acker, Dr. Chris Wachera, Margaret Sue, Brock Brunt, Joe Ernst, David Mick, Mario Harding, Diego Gonzalez, Michael Labator, Lisa Maxwell, Jennifer Williams, and Nico Proco. I would also like to recognize our staff, ambassadors, and volunteers that helped today. Lynn Lasande, Abraham Lopez, Sharon Mencius, Cynthia Hollins, Crystal Williams, Sean Choi, Ruben McElliott, Lisa Winter, Marcia McGallion, and Hunter Hennigan. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, board members, very much. So here at the Chamber, we're continuing to really take some big goals this year. We just launched last year our Alameda Destination Magazine. It's on your tables. And we're going to continue the momentum by launching our Visit Alameda website in partnership with the City of Alameda. And then we're working on launching our visitor center, which will be Visit Alameda Welcome Center. And the focus on that is to make sure that we acknowledge and continue supporting the branding and the marketing of the island to attract businesses and families, while we're continuing to support, to retain the businesses that are here in Alameda to stay here, because Alameda is growing and we're very excited and very proud of it. All yours now, Kelly.
With all the new companies also comes the need for workforce development. We've partnered with the Alameda County Workforce and Small Business Development Center with the goal of creating strong business community by ensuring they're skilled employees. We're working with employers and educational professionals to better understand the needs of our businesses and how our training facilities and schools can help meet our employers' needs and their current and future employment needs. We are also working closely with AUSD with the Junior Chamber Program. This initiative program helps students interact with our businesses to learn value entrepreneurial skills. We are proud of our local businesses and encourage you to support them. It's easy to do with our year-round shop, dine, and enjoy Alameda digital gift card program. Shopping local builds a strong community. Madeline?
Thank you, Kelly. So we're also very thrilled to announce this is our second year to launch Leadership Alameda. It starts in September and ends in June 2024. 25 classmates that will be there, and they really learn a lot about the island and the work and the community. It's all about government, economic development, nonprofits, housing, transportation, just to name a few. And the focus of that is to make sure that we have a good view, 360-degree view of the island, economy, and workings. I think this is a great way to do that. And now we have open applications already. I already have 5 applicants that chimed in, so I only need 20 more, which was great. And guess what? Last year we had 22, our first class that we had. And Sean, please share with us what this past guest said about it. Video, please.
Going through the Leadership Alameda program was quite rewarding on a lot of levels. I came into this really wanting to learn more about my community, see how the community operates, and see how I can lend my expertise to the issues that go on in the community.
It's a very wonderful program. You learn a lot, make a lot of connections, and I think you grow personally as well, because you're learning things about leadership, about how you connect to the community.
You never know what you get out of it until you're actually in the program, and Madeline does a really good job of bringing lots of aspects together, so I believe there's something for everyone.
I would really recommend this program to anyone who is even slightly interested, but learning not just about leadership and how to be a better leader, but also about the leadership in our local community. That kind of duality was extraordinarily useful, and I think anyone could benefit from it.
The benefits that I found were just meeting different community members, pillars of the community, being able to hear from different industries, leaders, politicians.
They need to be prepared to learn what it is to not just be a leader, but actually do something as a leader.
I certainly learned a lot about how the dynamics of the community work, all the different players and organizations, and what it takes to make a community like Alameda thrive.
It's a really great way to get acquainted with the city, to learn how everything works in the city. It is a commitment that, like any commitment you volunteer for or take part in, it requires your time and attention, but it's something that's worth your time and attention, and you will benefit from spending the time working on it.
Applications are on our website now, so you can feel free to go and complete it there. With that said, it's your turn, Kelly.
Yes, so education is a major component in our work at the Chamber. We're gearing up for in-person programs, including Good Morning Alameda, power lunches featuring a deep dive into business topics, business after-hours socials, economic and government affairs, and town hall DEIs. We also hold quarterly gatherings of Alameda women business leaders, a networking group focused on sharing topics and stories important to women. With this program, we partnered with Congresswoman Barbara Lee and Senator Nancy Skinner's offices to issue certificates to our chamber women-owned businesses. Our economic and government affairs and our DEI are held monthly, and those are held on Zoom. If you're not receiving our weekly newsletter, please visit our website, alamedachamber.com, to sign up. Our newsletter is a great way to stay connected with our city, county, and state. So on May 15th, the foundation is awarding 14 high school students from Alameda $1,500 scholarships to continue their studies in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. This is an incredible opportunity to help defray the cost of education. If you know a graduating senior who attends high school in Alameda, encourage them to visit our website and apply before April 11th. To date, we're proud our foundation has awarded $47,000 to students from Alameda who are continuing their educational dreams. We're investing in our future leaders.
And for this foundation, we would like to acknowledge and thank Exalexis and Penumbra for funding it for us. So with what just Kelly said, we only have 2 events left for the year, 2 signature events. The rest of them are every month, right? So the next event is on June 22nd, Business Excellence Awards. This year, we're hosting it at Dash and Urban Cellars Winery with a paella dinner. And you will receive a link next week for a survey to ask you to nominate your favorite businesses in 6 categories, so don't forget that. The final event of the year will be on September 28th, and that's Alameda's Economic Forecast. This year, we were able to secure Dr. Chris Thornburg to be our keynote speaker for that. And it's basically covering a lot of the issues and concerns about what happened in 2023, but it will set the stage right for you to make sure that you plan for your businesses in 2024. With that said, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce our Assembly Member, Mia Banda. Let me just share some. So this came to me very late last night, so I don't have it memorized. I'll read it to you. Sorry. Okay, so Mia Banda was elected to serve California's 18th Assembly District in a special election on August 31st, 2021. The 18th Assembly District encompasses the East Bay area, Northern California, which includes a large portion of the city of Oakland and the cities of Emeryville and Alameda. Assemblymember Banta's priority is to make California a more affordable, inclusive, and equitable home for all. Mia has spent her career advocating for students and working families. Mia made Alameda her home more than 20 years ago, where she has worked and led several nonprofit organizations focused on improving education outcomes for low-income students. For Mia, education was life-changing and was what first inspired Mia to become a public servant. Mia holds a BA in psychology from Yale University and went on pursuing an educational data mining from Harvard Graduate School and then a Juris Doctor from Yale Law School. Assemblymember Mia Banda lives in Alameda with her husband, Attorney General Rabanda and their children. And I'd like to make sure that we all give a very warm welcome to our Assembly member.
Thank you so much. And first, let's just give it up for these beautiful women, Madeline and Kelly, who keep this city going. The Alameda Chamber of Commerce is the hardest working chamber that we have. I see you everywhere. You support all of our amazing businesses and bring us together in these beautiful moments. And so today we're here to talk about the state of the city. I get to talk about being your representative in this state of California. I'm Mia Bonta. I get to represent 8018, and every day I get to say I represent the people of Alameda, Oakland, and Emeryville, and it is the proudest thing I get to say and do, being able to walk on that green carpet and supporting our businesses, our people here in Alameda. I also just wanted to recognize the amazing force that we have in our first responders, in our firefighters, in our police officers, who just showed us what they have over the last weeks and months as we've dealt with floods. My best story was that I got to look while I was up in Sacramento at a young man in Alameda wearing a Speedo and a swimming cap and taking a semi-swim in Alameda. And I knew that he was cared for because we had our amazing first responders. This is such a proud moment for me. One, because as Madeline was sharing, I've been in Alameda for 23 years and I get to talk about my children, but now I'm almost about to be from 3 children to 1 child in the home because, you know, they grew up. And so Mayor, who is also my neighbor, gets to see just one walking around a little bit. We've been through a lot over the last year, and I just want to thank and know that our businesses have been able to keep us strong. You've been resilient, you've kept your doors open, you've opened new doors in the middle of COVID. We've had an opportunity to have Alameda carry its weight, hold more than its weight around developing affordable housing and housing in general, which is so needed in the city of Alameda. We've been able to address issues of homelessness, and we've had a very forward-thinking city council and leadership and business leadership focused on what it would mean for us to have the kind of climate resilience that will keep our beautiful little Alameda Island City afloat as we deal with the challenges related to our climate. I've been working hard in the state legislature, making sure that we have the kind of infrastructure that will support us developing a green economy, making sure that we have the kind of electrification that's going to support the opportunity for us to really have green energy throughout the city, focusing on creating opportunities for us to get and make sure that our children can actually live with us, if it's in ADUs or in places that just allow them to be able to be here. And every single step of the way, regardless of what I am doing in the assembly, whether it's around housing, climate action, education, which is of course a deep passion of mine, or public safety, I've known that we've had Alameda be an innovator. It's kind of an interesting thing that a city that is on the population size, a smaller city, we are carrying our weight, we are punching above our weight, and we are doing great things in terms of innovation and offering opportunity to the state of California. And so often I get to say, where the East Bay goes, so goes California. Sometimes I even say, often, where Alameda goes, so goes the state of California. So imagine that our little island city could have all this opportunity to develop, to deal with transportation, to have businesses that are flourishing, to have our people feeling taken care of. That's a beautiful thing, and you all have been an incredible part of that. So I'm very proud to be able to represent the city of Alameda, and in this moment now, I'm also very thankful to be able to introduce the hardest working mayor in the state of California, Ms. Marilyn Izzy Ashcraft. I I see her everywhere. She's in DC. Yesterday, she was in the Capitol fighting for more infrastructure and more dollars and our ability to be able to be strong. She's thoughtful. She's been progressive for us. She's made sure that we've been able to have our businesses thrive and our people taken care of. And I can't be more proud of being able to introduce Mayor Marilyn Izzy Ashcraft for our State of the City address.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Mia Bonta. And everyone, let's give a round of applause for our very hardworking Assemblymember, our local neighbor, Mia Bonta. I will share with you that I was in Sacramento yesterday to do some lobbying with the Alameda County Transportation Commission, and I had the pleasure of meeting in person with Assemblymember Bonta, among other electeds. I want you to know how hardworking she was. Assemblymember Bonta caught the 5 a.m. Capitol Corridor train to Sacramento yesterday. I don't even know what time you get up to do that, but anyway, thank you so much for being here, and a huge thanks to the USS Hornet Museum for opening this space to us, and also to the Alameda Chamber and Economic Alliance, especially President and CEO Madeline Sadek and Board Chair Kelly Lax, who worked hard to put this event together. Let's give them a big round of applause. So welcome everyone to my 2023 State of the City address. We have to take care of some housekeeping details first, because the city's Sunshine Ordinance requires me, as part of my State of the City address, to provide an update on any Sunshine Ordinance complaints received the previous year. So I want to share that in 2022, 5 complaints were filed, 3 of them were not heard, and the other 2 were partially dismissed and partially sustained. So now I have a treat for you, which is to take a look back at some of Alameda's recent accomplishments, and also to meet some Alameda businesses in this video produced by 2 very talented Alameda residents, Sean Daniels of Castaway Creative and photographer Maurice Ramirez. You ready to roll? Okay.
So we created an autonomous helicopter that was able to use its onboard perception software to identify a campfire from 100 meters away, go to it, and put it out in less than a second. Alameda is great because we've worked with the city to do flight testing out here right up the runways, and the talent hubs here. We're surrounded by Berkeley, San Francisco. We have an access to software and hardware engineers that's just unrivaled in the Bay Area.
You don't always have the opportunity to live in a big open plan loft space that is got the natural character of the naval station juxtaposed with current modern architecture. Big open spaces to run your business, 200 different tenants in the building here together, running their business, living together, forming a community over time. In the greater Alameda Point, in the greater city of Alameda. It's really an amazing opportunity.
Senti Biosciences is a biotechnology company developing smarter medicines to address complex diseases. One of the critical innovations we developed this year is a way to program our cells with logic gates. We can now have our cells recognize targets, such as cancer cells, where we can kill the cancer cells, but at the same time recognize healthy cells and not kill those healthy cells. So that spares your healthy tissue in a patient setting. So we believe this is a key innovation that will help significantly advance the future of cell and gene therapies.
So here at the research park, we're very proud to call Scribe Therapeutics a tenant of ours that are in the CRISPR space. Terviva is in the alternative protein space. Shiru is also in alternative proteins. Eat Just, Food Tech, Checkerspot, Materials Science. All of these companies are doing wonderful things, sustainable science to help save the world, frankly. And we've also been extremely fortunate to have the city of Alameda, not only the building department, but Alameda Municipal Power, the city official, city manager, you name it, as phenomenal partners that have been an absolute tailwind as we've delivered this park and tried to establish the cluster that we're proud to show off today.
With the recent wild winter weather, we shifted our model of 3 nights a week to 7 days, 7 nights a week of being open in the warming shelter. And that has included much more than shelter. It's included daily meals, showers, clothing, and other care services.
We didn't know if we could pull this off when we shifted to full time because this takes a lot of people. But the community of Alameda has been incredible with its volunteer support. People have come out of the woodwork from this church, other churches, community organizations like the Girl Scouts, many individuals who've been incredibly generous with their time, their money, and their gifts in kind to support the most vulnerable people in Alameda.
We are so appreciative to the community of Alameda.
Thank you so much for that wonderful video, Sean and Maurice. And now, the State of the City of Alameda. The theme I've chosen is Alameda Moving Forward Together. I am honored to have been re-elected this past November to serve a second term as mayor and be able to continue serving Alameda's residents, businesses, and visitors. Alameda is a special place, and that's not just my opinion. I'll bet you think so too. I hear that sentiment almost daily from residents, business owners, and people I meet when I'm out of town. So what makes Alameda so special? In addition to its natural beauty, panoramic views, inviting beach, tree-lined walkable and bikeable streets, plentiful parks, distinctive downtowns, and a friendly vibe, I would argue that Alameda is the right-sized city. You remember the Goldilocks fairy tale? Not too big, not too small? That's us. With a population close to 80,000, we punch above our weight. We're a mid-sized city, but we punch above our weight. And what I mean by this is that we're able to identify and address unmet needs expeditiously with innovative projects because we have hardworking staff, hello Team Alameda, and also dedicated hardworking staff, but without the layers of bureaucracy of a larger city. For example, take Dignity Village. You saw some great footage of it on the slideshow. This is a transitional housing development that will soon provide homes and intense wraparound support services for up to 60 formerly homeless individuals. In March 2022, just over a year ago, we learned that the city would receive $12.3 million from a state home key grant program, supplemented by funding from Alameda County for this project. And now in May 2023, just over a year later, and despite some significant rain delays, we will celebrate Dignity Village's grand opening. Yes. Another example is our guaranteed income pilot project that is called Rise Up Alameda and will launch this summer using ARPA funds to help vulnerable residents attain economic security. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed economic and public health vulnerabilities experienced by local residents, especially low-income households, people of color, and women. The city will work with a research partner that will review and monitor outcomes to help inform the development of anti-poverty public policy. We also added new parks, including Seaplane Lagoon Promenade and Bahal Circle Immigrant Park, and began planning a new aquatic center at the Jean Sweeney Park. Alameda is fortunate to have outstanding city staff under the capable leadership of City Manager Jen Ott, and they work hard to meet the needs of residents and businesses, support local businesses and help them grow, and attract new businesses from out of the area. I want to take a moment to recognize several city departments who worked around the clock to keep our community safe during recent powerful storms that toppled trees and caused power outages across the island. So huge thanks to Alameda Municipal Power, or AMP, under the leadership of General Manager Nico Prokos. Big round of applause. Also, the Alameda Police and Fire Departments under the leadership of Chiefs Nishant Joshi and Nick Luby, for your rapid response to calls for service during all the storms we've had this season, and we've had plenty. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. I also want to recognize Finance Director Margaret O'Brien for providing the following financial update at a time when financial stability is a topic of great concern. Director O'Brien reports that in recent years, the city has benefited greatly from the strong property market as investors demonstrated their faith in the strengths of Alameda by continuing to make capital improvements and through continued development at Alameda Point. While the city anticipates a slowdown in permitting activity and property transfers as the economy adjusts to increased interest rates, the city will continue to reap the financial benefits of the previous property markets. The city of Alameda has seen assessed valuation grow an average of 6.5% annually over the past 7 years, while experiencing an approximately 52% growth in property taxes from fiscal year 2017 to fiscal year 2023, and anticipates that percentage to grow to 65% by fiscal year 2025. On a related note, the City Council's 2022 priorities include encouraging economic development throughout Alameda. So let's look at some of the impressive businesses that are doing innovative, life-changing work that have recently chosen to locate in Alameda in our flourishing business parks. And they include Scribe Therapeutics, a CRISPR and molecular engineering company located at Research Park Marina Village in one of the historic Shipways buildings. Co-founder Jennifer Doudna, PhD, was awarded the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for her discovery with collaborator Emmanuel Charpentier, PhD, of CRISPR, the groundbreaking gene editing technology being used to develop treatments for a wide range of diseases, including Parkinson's, early onset familial Alzheimer's, glaucoma, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and more. Checkerspot, a materials innovation company also located in the historic Shipways building, recently won the distinguished South by Southwest Innovation Award in the design category for its use of microalgae rather than petroleum-based fossil fuels to design higher performing, more sustainable materials. Checker Spot has launched a line of high-performing outdoor recreation products, including skis and backcountry snowboards, clothing, and other products that are reducing industry reliance on fossil fuels. In 2021, Science Corporation founder Max Hodak brought his company to Alameda, where they are developing devices including an advanced optogenetic visual prosthesis for patients with serious blindness that enable doctors to treat serious diseases like blindness without performing major surgery. Rondo Energy, a new Harbor Bay business park company, is helping to advance the state's energy goals with their Rondo Heat battery, which converts low-cost but intermittent solar and wind-generated electricity into heat, which is stored in bricks and available on demand 24/7. Rondo sells this heat battery to California's most energy-intensive industrial customers, replacing their need to burn natural gas. If deployed at scale, this technology could reduce global CO2 emissions by 15% in 15 years. Imagine all of these wonderful things and more going on right here in Alameda. And we value all of our businesses, large and small. And Alameda has a wide variety of wonderful local restaurants that add vibrancy and attract visitors to our downtown districts, but all of them struggled to survive during the height of the pandemic when they could only open for takeout and delivery. Today, restaurants face challenges from increased supply costs and staff shortages. That's why the Alameda City Council recently voted to continue limiting the fees that third-party food delivery services can charge Alameda restaurants and customers to help our restaurants stay in business. Another 2022 council priority is supplementing enhanced livability and quality of life for all. California is the fourth largest economy in the world, but we can't brag about that fact while there are estimated to be more than 115,000 individuals living homeless in California, including here in Alameda. Every city in our state has a legal, and I would argue moral, obligation to do their part to address the housing crisis, and that's what we're doing in Alameda. In late 2022, Alameda adopted its housing element, which is essentially the roadmap for how Alameda will do its part to address California's housing crisis from now until 2031. I'm proud to report that Alameda was the first city in Northern California to have its housing element certified by the state's Housing and Community Development Department. And that is a major accomplishment. While some cities around the state that I won't name are suing to not have to do their part, but we expect every California city to step up and do its part with us. According to Alameda's Sustainability and Resilience Manager, Danielle Mueller, the housing element is also a hugely important component of meeting Alameda's climate goals because a denser housing pattern contributes to lower greenhouse gas emissions by ensuring that residents can be less dependent on cars to get around town. Additionally, new development in Alameda is required to be all electric and tends to be more energy efficient, reducing building emissions. Providing a range of affordable housing in Alameda also helps ensure that Alameda's workers of all income levels have the opportunity to live closer to where they work and rely less on vehicles. The businesses represented here today, every one of you, as well as the Alameda Unified School District and every city department know that having quality, affordable housing nearby is essential to attract and retain a workforce. That's why we're building a variety of new housing in Alameda with an emphasis on affordable housing. Some exciting housing developments that opened recently or will open this year include Alta Star Harbor, the iconic red brick Del Monte building. Yeah, let's have a round of applause. I think you all know the beautiful Del Monte building that's been there on Buena Vista Avenue for many decades, and now it's opening up. It is being transformed into 372 apartment homes that include studios, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, and also 10 work-live units on the ground floor. 15% of these apartments are affordable housing, and I understand that residents have begun moving in, but there's still space available. Then over on Clement Avenue at the launch at Alameda Marina, 368 rental units, including 8 ground floor work-live units, and 50 for-sale townhomes will come on the market in 2023. An additional 130 townhomes will be completed in the next few years, and 15% of all the housing at Alameda Landing is also affordable. Developer-funded improvements from this development include new sidewalks and a protected cycle track along Clement Avenue. Bay 37 at Alameda Landing, just beyond the Target, offers 357 for-sale townhomes and condos, 15% of which are affordable. And they're also adjacent to one of our newest parks and a stunning waterfront promenade along the Bay Trail. If you haven't been out to the Hall Circle Immigrant Park and walked the promenade, you really ought to do so, especially on a day like today. And then, not far from here at Alameda Point, the Storehouse Lofts is an innovative, adaptive reuse of the original general storehouse for the former Alameda Naval Air Station. Now it's a mixed-use development that includes 70 work-live units, commercial space, and a top-notch restaurant called Saltbreaker that you really should try. Alameda is also working hard to reduce homelessness. And as previously mentioned, Dignity Village will open in early May. And right here at Alameda Point, 3 homes have been converted to transitional supportive housing to help families and individuals prepare to become permanently housed, and a 4th home for previously unsheltered adults will open in May. We are assisted in this vital work by community partners including the Village of Love, the Alameda Food Bank, Christ Episcopal Church, who you saw in that nice video clip, that hosts and administers the warming shelter from winter to early spring, and is joined by other faith-based organizations and a cadre of dedicated volunteers who underscore what a special place Alameda is. And yet another 2022 council priority is preparing Alameda for the future, which encompasses climate action. In Alameda, we take global warming seriously because sea level rise is an existential threat to our island community. Here are some climate actions the City Council approved in 2022 and earlier this year. We adopted the Equitable Building Decarbonization Plan that lays out a phased approach for equitably shifting natural gas use in existing buildings toward all electric buildings over time. It's much simpler to build a new building and make it all electric than it is to go in and adapt an existing building, but it's equally important to do so if we're going to reduce global warming. So this plan includes new policies and programs, financing options, expanded rebates, and community education and outreach. We required that all new construction as well as substantial remodels and additions be fully electric, lowering construction costs and taking advantage of AMP's 100% clean energy. We also banned the use and sale of gas-powered leaf blowers, and AMP launched new rebates for electric heat pump heating and cooling HVAC units, and for e-bikes for income qualified residents, and increased the rebate for used electric vehicles for income qualified customers.
The city also implemented streamlined solar permitting process, which reduces the processing time to reduce a residential solar permit from more than 1 month to, get this, less than 1 hour. That's pretty impressive. AMP also began waiving interconnection fees for residential solar projects and providing a $500 solar rebate for income qualified customers. We ended 2022 on a high note when the City Council selected Jen Ott to be our new city manager. Huge round of applause. Jen hit the ground running upon her arrival this past January, demonstrating the administrative skills she acquired as Hayward's Assistant City Manager for the past 4 years, and a deep understanding of the complexity of developing Alameda Point, having previously served as Alameda Point's Chief Operating Officer. It is my pleasure to welcome City Manager Jen Ott onto the stage, and after hearing her speak, I'm sure that you will agree with me that Alameda is in good hands, that our future is bright, and that we will continue to be a special place in the Bay Area. Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome, Jen Ott.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mayor, and good morning to everyone. And of course, I want to thank Madeline and Kelly and all of the Chamber Board for hosting this wonderful event. I'm very happy to be back in Alameda and working in such a welcoming community with such a diverse and active business sector. I look forward to working with all of you and all of our private and public partners to make Alameda better. Before I get started, a little louder, sorry. Before I get started, I want to quickly introduce the city department heads who are here today. So please stand when I say your name and hold your applause to the end. City Attorney Eben Shen, Assistant City Manager Amy Wooldridge, Alameda Municipal Power General Manager Nico Prokos, Police Chief Nishant Joshi, Communication Director Sarah Henry, Community Development Director Lisa Maxwell, Planning, Building and Transportation Director Andrew Thomas, IT Director Carolyn Hogg, Acting Recreation and Parks Director Dave Leemseeder, HR Director Jessica Romeo, Finance Director Margaret O'Brien. We have Deputy Fire Chiefs Jeff Del Bono and Cody Moxley here. And then we have Elizabeth McKenzie, our Chief Assistant City Attorney, as well as a number of other staff here today. So thanks to this amazing and hardworking executive. Thank you. I was going to give you a cue a little later, but that's okay. Thanks to this amazing and hardworking executive team, the city has weathered all of the storms that have been battering the Bay Area relatively smoothly, and have also adeptly managed the transition of the city has faced over the last year while the city manager position was being filled. And thanks to this team, I wasn't able to hit the ground running when I returned to Alameda in January. So this morning, I know we have some other speeches. We've got a game that we want to play, so I'm going to try to go fast, but I'm going to tell you showcase a few stories about innovation and technology. You heard from the mayor how a few of our businesses right here in Alameda are on the cutting edge of working to make our lives better. And while we read in the news all the time how businesses use innovation and technology to solve the world's most pressing problems, today I'm going to highlight a number of case studies of government innovation, something you don't read that much about in the news. The city, along with its other government partners, are using innovation and technology to make government more effective and efficient and better support our residents and all of you. So the first story I want to talk about quickly, you've heard about it a little bit already, but innovation in housing and homelessness. As a government leader, the #1 issue I hear from people and businesses about is homelessness and the housing crisis. What are we doing about it, and why does it keep getting worse? Well, I'm not going to actually answer those questions because we would be here all day debating the issue. But instead, I just want to focus on one story about how the city is taking advantage of new state laws and financing options, along with faster construction techniques, to build new transitional housing for our unhoused population in months, not years. As you heard from the mayor and you saw in the video, Dignity Village is under construction, slated to open in May of this year, and will serve up to 61 formerly homeless individuals in 47 units, helping them get off the streets and transition to permanent housing. So how do we get a supportive housing project financed and built for $16 million in 14 months instead of over $30 million in 5 years, which is what a project like that might normally take? And there's 3 ways we were able to do it. 1, state laws have changed, and we took advantage of them to allow supportive housing developments for people who are homeless to cut the red tape and get approved quickly. Second, the city jumped at the chance to take advantage of $12 million in new funding from the state when the state used its surplus dollars to double down on providing funding for homeless housing and a program called Home Key. With this state funding, the city decisively committed an additional $4 million in local and federal stimulus funding to the project, resulting in the project being fully funded within a year of commencing project planning. For those of you who know affordable housing planning, usually a process like that can take years to get all the funding together. And here we typically might cost $700,000 per unit, and in this case, it's $350,000 per unit to construct this project. Lastly, all of those funding sources come with strict strings attached, so to get the project done quickly. As a result, we use prefab modular construction to deliver solutions faster. We broke ground at the end of October and will be opening the doors of Dignity Village next month, which is a 7-month construction timeline that typically would have taken years. The second story I want to talk about is innovation in policing and building trust. We also hear from our businesses and residents about concerns of increased crime, especially theft, and of community trust issues. Alameda's police chief and police department are committed to training and reforms and new and innovative technology and programs that help address these issues. So for many years, all Alameda police officers have worn body-worn cameras on all of their service calls. But in the past, we were only able to audit about 1% of that footage because we had to manually comb through the footage with staff. A little more year ago, the Alameda Police Department was the first police department in the state and one of the first in the nation to start a new training program coupled with a data analytics software called Trulio software that analyzes all body-worn camera footage to review every single interaction a police officer has with a community member. So the software then identifies and flags interventions that can be used to provide staff with timely intervention and coaching for both positive and constructive interactions. So when we compare data year over year, we see 30% decrease in use of force, a 30% decrease in unprofessional officer language, a 17% increase in officer explanations, and a 12% decrease in civilian non-compliance. So while these results are just preliminary, this software and Alameda's results have garnered a lot of attention, are being looked at and considered for adoption in Los Angeles, New York, and many other police departments throughout the country. We are also facing a police officer staffing crisis, with vacancies in almost 1/3 of the police officer ranks. And as a result, the City Council took action just last week and approved a $75,000 signing bonus for new officers, which is higher than any other California city and will ensure Alameda has access to the best and most diverse candidates. And the chief, he kept me in the loop, but had over 2,000 hits within days of his social media post announcing the program. My third story is about innovation in service delivery. Before the pandemic, the city's permit center was the most visited office at City Hall, and most permits, as many of you know, required multiple visits to City Hall to receive instructions and file paperwork, mounds of paperwork. When City Hall closed during the pandemic, staff acted quickly to transform the permit center so that most of the work could be done virtually. So this transformation allowed us to continue to process the same or more permits while also allowing applicants to apply online at their convenience, regardless of office hours, pay with credit cards, make Zoom appointments, check on the status of their permit online, and most importantly, avoid waiting in line. And in some cases, receive same-day permits, such as solar permits. So last year, we issued 4,000 permits online, valued at over $230 million. Story number 4, innovation in making our streets safer. While the rate of traffic fatalities and severe injuries in the city are well below the county and state, the rate has actually increased since 2019 across all of these areas. And we're not entirely sure why this is, but we think it's primarily due to reckless driving habits that people developed when our streets were empty during the pandemic. So to respond to this issue and achieve the city's goal to eliminate all traffic deaths and severe injuries by 2035, the city has expanded its use of GIS mapping to develop a high injury corridor map. including mapping of schools, equity priority areas, and other factors. So using this mapping tool, the city targeted its scarce traffic resources, traffic enforcement resources, and capital resources along these corridors, with 76% of traffic stops occurring along these high injury areas. Additionally, we can tell that 68% of our 113 intersections that received safety improvements implemented last year were also along these corridors. 17% were near schools and 31% in our equity priority areas. So mapping tools allow us to target resources where they are most needed and use our limited staff and financial resources where they'll have the biggest impact. Last story, I promise, then we'll get to hopefully to Family Feud. Is an innovation in shoreline resiliency. So as an island city, Alameda faces an existential threat from sea level rise and flooding. Our shoreline is highly susceptible to the impacts of climate change. Thanks to our sustainability team, we have received millions of dollars in grants to plan and implement levees, seawalls, and other infrastructure projects to protect our waterfront from rising tides. One project, though, stands out from the rest along the western shoreline of the Seaplane Lagoon at Alameda Point, called Deep Bay Park, and that will be the first park in Alameda where we are planning for shoreline retreat. So instead of defending, trying to keep the water out, we're going to let the water in. And Deep Bay Park will be a 12-acre urban ecological park in which all the existing concrete from all the runways out at Alameda Point will be crushed on site and repurposed to create a tidal ecology system and wildlife habitat. The ecological open space is designed to adapt to sea level rise by inundating over time, which will transition the park from a tidal habitat to a full wetlands habitat for the public to enjoy. And by repurposing the concrete through careful design, Deep Bay Park will be climate positive after only 4 years. So meaning it will then actively sequester and pull almost 8,500 tons of carbon out of the atmosphere over the next 50 years. So thank you for listening to a few of my stories, and as we move forward together, and I will help ensure that Alameda moves forward in a positive and fiscally sustainable direction with innovation and technology continuing to drive our work. So thank you. We're not going to answer again?
Wow, isn't that right? It's amazing. Everything that they mentioned aims toward a stronger and a better community. And we hope you can join us in embracing that to make sure that we're always strong and resilient here. So I would like to thank our Honorable Mayor, Marilyn S. Ashcraft, for her amazing address, as always. And as she mentioned, we are in great hands with our city manager, Jennifer Ott. When you have a strong city manager like Jennifer Ott, and you have a good chamber there, I think together we can collaborate to make sure that our community is growing and thriving and sustainable here. I would like to say thank you very much to Castaway Creative, Maurice Ramirez Photography, and also for Tanoa with A-Town for the sound system. And guess what? We're going to give you some time back so you can, we'll turn on the lights, you get to network, eat more food, warm up with some coffee and mimosa, and get to know one another, and we'll give you back this remaining time. How's that? Sounds good? I'll see you all at our Business Excellence Awards in June 22nd. Have a great afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Goodbye. Okay, sorry, I lied. Give me 2 minutes. Someone just came to say a few words to you. You're not even the chair of the 2024 yet, but you want to say something, right? Okay, here you go.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that took the time to come out here. For those who don't know me, my name's Joanne Guitarte. I am chair-elect for 2024 for the Alameda Chamber and Economic Alliance. Thank you. I hope that everyone has enjoyed the food and the drinks. That's also provided by my company, Cafe Jolie and Don Appetit.
You're scaring me. You're very busy with all these new coming things, and you're going to be our chair-elect? Oh my God, okay.
I got this. And just one last announcement, little secret here. Another secret. I'm proud to announce that I'll be opening Cafe Jolie Petite in Harbor Bay Parkway with Radius, Jay Atkinson, and Luann. So look out for us. We're opening hopefully this year in October. Thank you guys. Please, I brought to-go boxes. So take some food because I don't want to bring it back. Thank you.
Bye.